Good morning, beautiful people, from wherever you are. I hope you've studied you practiced the pawn and the rook. And don't forget that if you find it useful, if you like it, subscribe to my channel so we can do more of the same. Now, we're going forwards with the bishop today. So, sharing the screen, first thing first. All right. So, reminder, the pawn is a point, the rook is 5 points, and the bishop, the protagonist of our discussion today, is worth 3 points. Okay, so pawns move forwards, always forwards. They capture diagonally, okay? And rook goes up and down, left and right, capture the same way they move. Now the bishop. The bishop, oops, the bishop goes in diagonal. Let me erase everything here. Placing a bishop. You probably seen at the beginning of our presentation, we had a bishop on c1, f1, bishop on f8, and c8. Now, a bishop is on a light squares and the other bishop moves on dark squares. So we've got, sorry guys, we've got this situation here, right? So you've noticed they are on different colors and they will be moving throughout the game, staying on the same color. It's a conditioning. They cannot go beyond. Okay, oops, we need another bishop. Right, so let me just draw a couple of arrows here to make it obvious for you that that is the way they move. Okay, only in diagonal, right? So rook goes like a plus, the bishop goes like in form of an X, if it's easy for you to remember and apply. Right, rook in the middle of the board, and it goes very powerful piece. Look at this, very powerful piece goes in diagonal. You may go 1 square, you may go 2 squares or 3, you may go all the way to A8 and then back to H1 or whichever you want to move it, as long as you stay on the same diagonal, no problem whatsoever. If there is any piece that's in your path, you go nicely, remove it, take it. Nothing wrong to trade the bishop for a bishop. Let me just give an example. I'm having a bishop here and then a pawn. Just saying. All right. So in this position here, there's nothing wrong whatsoever to move your bishop and capture the black one, or if you're playing with the black pieces, nothing wrong for the bishop on g6 to come down the board and capture the bishop on e4. No problem whatsoever. It's fine. Where you have to be in doubt, if you're feeling at some point that you want to take a pawn with the bishop, and that pawn particular is defended by another pawn, that would be a bad move, a bad trade, because your bishop is 3 points, the pawn is 1 point. So by taking it, you're actually giving a 3-point piece for a 1-point piece. You don't want to do that exchange. Again, if you trade the bishop, for a knight, or hey, if you take a rook or a queen, even better. Okay? But if it's a pawn, don't do this. Always count the attackers and defenders. If the pawn that you are attacking is not defended, we call it hanging piece. Just go get it. Absolutely. If no one defends this pawn now, as you can see it here, go and take it. It's absolutely perfectly fine. You just need to double check, think, ask yourself if it's the right move, then just simply go and do it. Go and take it. That's it. So for today's practice, I would recommend to having 8 pawns, rooks in the corners, and the bishop. So you may keep the bishops today. Okay, that will help you to practice your arsenal now, your pieces that you've studied. So keep the pawns, keep the rooks, and play with the bishop and move them exactly the way we talked about. You win if you get a pawn safely to the other side of the board. You win if you capture all your opponent's pieces or if you block them all. So practice this today, guys. And in the coming days, we'll be talking about the queen and we'll talk about the knight. So just trying to keep it short for you guys and very clear. So clarity is one of my purposes. Everything has got to be very clear so that every single person can apply it in their own game and improve and get better at it. That's the whole thing. We're sharing the knowledge, we're sharing the common knowledge, we grow together, we achieve together. Thanks very much for being with me, guys. Like and subscribe, and see you very, very soon in our beautiful journey.